dreams come alive, where spirits rise.
That was 50 points off the track, baby.
In Japan, where the sun will always shine, traditions collide with the future's line. Through city streets and temples high, find your story beneath the sky. Waves spread, walking how it stands, harmony flows to the best of lands. In the neon glow, there is bent, the culture rich where resistance, even more no grace. Dance the night with every star, a guiding light. In Japan, where the sun will always shine, traditions collide with the future's line. The cherry lanes and soaring heights, find the magic near the moonlit nights.
Alright, guys. Sorry I am a little bit behind. I was... posting out that I am live. I'll fix that later. But as we're kind of getting ourselves loaded in, you guys already know what we're going to be talking about today. So I wanted... Alright, so I wanted to share with you guys, the stuff that's been going on a lot within the United States and stuff. It's a real thing that's been going on, and you guys have already known what I'm saying, because I've probably seen a lot of these people, and I'm telling you, I don't usually like talking politics. I'm gonna be honest. I would not be talking politics if it wasn't for you know, if the United States wasn't here right about now, I would probably still talk about politics, but it would probably be less of the politics and more about the trans issues and stuff and stuff. And I will still tell you, um, in New Hampshire, they have one of the things that's been going on down there is that they have rolled back the protections for LGBTQ in New Hampshire for the trans people. So it's like you go and you look at these places, no place is going to be perfect and no place is going to protect you. And we're all going to die at some point, but we shouldn't have to die in a way that all of these things that are out there, we shouldn't be dying on the we shouldn't be dying on a whim because of what's going on in the US for a lot of um um is it's really tough. And it's really tough to see it's saying it's not receiving enough. I might have to um um but anywho, alright. Let's go to the cargo market for this place. Um let's get ourselves at least going out. Trying to pick a place to go from here. Um um That's the only other one, and I have been down that way. Let's take a some small stuff. Now in order for us, we would have to go through this roundabout up here. But there's this saying that for a lot of people who don't know what's been going on, I'm going to tell you, I don't get my information probably anywhere that you guys think I get my information from. I don't get my information from mainstream media as much anymore. Now I do occasionally will listen to MSNBC with Rachel Maddow. I'll occasionally listen to, Midas Touch. I listen to Midas Touch. I'll occasionally listen to David Pakman now. I occasionally listen to other content creators out there. But Midas Touch is the one that I listen to the most. And they just got a thing out there where we are going to get into the title today, but I wanted to share with you guys the first on this. Terry Morans, who left ABC News because of an issue that they basically took him out because they didn't like what he was saying, and that's not great. Terry Morans basically lost his job at ABC, but Midas Touch is asking him if they would like to have him on. The door is open. He left. They said the door is open. And so that's actually kind of good that, you know, at least they are willing and able to listen to the people's needs. You know, Midas Touch does a great, amazing work for their they bring the receipts. They absolutely bring those receipts. You know, it's like you look at the recent issue with Trump, you know, where he basically said, "Oh well, I did it yesterday," but it wasn't yesterday. It was actually a few days ago. You know, it's one of those things where you look at the call logs. He said on the 9th. Well, said okay. Well, they called on the 7th. Well, yesterday. Well, they sometimes, you know, you get those mistakes, but it's like Trump doesn't even go and fix those mistakes. Doesn't even acknowledge that he made a mistake. He just goes with the flow and doesn't care. He lies to the people. Okay. Not only does he lie to people, but he also it's another thing where when you look at the current political standpoint on a lot of things that I believe in, you know, the thing is that if you are a military, like I have said before, if you are a military veteran or you are a military personnel in general, okay, if you are a veteran, you should be the one that you stand up for the Constitution, you stand with the Constitution, and that's what you should be doing. If you are leaning to helping him, you're not somebody that stands up with the Constitution. You need to be able to stand with the Constitution, not with anything. You know, and then I also wanted to let you guys know that I do occasionally will share some things from other content creators out there, and I'm in no way, shape, or form do I absolutely agree with Donald Trump. I have lost all faith in him. I do not stand with Donald Trump. I never will. I don't stand with anybody that goes against the Constitution. If you're going against the Constitution, you're not with God. Because one of the things is you're supposed to follow the law of the land, and the law of the land is the Constitution. You know, that is absolutely a thing. But Donald Trump doesn't want to follow it. And if you are a military personnel, you following him and you letting him give you the orders because it's going to protect your job. Hell, if you lose your job over it. Because, you know what? You're standing up. You're willing to stand up for democracy. You know? If you're a National Guard member, don't believe everything that he says and everything that he does. He's not out there to help you. He's only out there to make his ego look better. He's basically out there looking like Kim Jong-un, or, you know, with these military parades and stuff. Don't even go watch the military parade. I'm begging you, do not watch it. I am absolutely begging people, pleading with you, don't watch it. I won't be watching it on Saturday. Because I'll be watching Barnacles. And Barnacules actually is one guy that I will watch. You know, I will be out there on the No King's Day. You know, I would go out and protest at the No King's Day, but I'm not gonna do it. I'm still gonna say no kings. I'm still gonna do it. I might even do a live stream that says live stream and do a No Kings live stream that day. Instead, I might actually go and just No Kings protest on that day. I have thought about doing just a protest in my own on YouTube and actually being more civil about it. Not, you know. You know, and I will tell you, I stand with the Constitution, and I will always stand with it. And his recent speech to these military, he may be your commander-in-chief, but you don't have to follow your commander-in-chief. You don't have to follow him. You follow, if you're National Guard, you follow the state. Your state leader, your governor. Don't follow the federal. If you feel like it's wrong, tell it, voice it. If Gavin Newsom basically literally came out and said, yeah, he may have had an audio issue, but they go after and complain about all these issues like that. But yet, if Donald Trump had a mic issue, they wouldn't complain. They wouldn't go out there and, oh well, we need your audio. They're gonna go out there and complain about somebody else having that exact same issue. And it's like you're a hypocrite. You're out there being a hypocrite. You're out there lying to people and saying that, you know, you shouldn't be out there lambasting somebody because you have the exact same issue. There are plenty of people that have issues. Sometimes a technical issue, they had everything set up, everything was right, they could hear him, and then you start the stream and then somehow the audio cuts and you think you have everything properly set up. It happens. It happens with Barnacules. It happens to everybody. Tech issues happen. Tech issues always happen with it. You know, some days I don't have the things going on. You know? There is one other thing I forgot to do, guys. Give me a second.
The MAGA panic over trans people is fake. Everything's transgender this, transgender that, transgender here, and transgender there.
So I got a speeding ticket there. Good. Fudge. I forgot to have TikTok open as well. But I will tell you, it's no way, shape, or form is Donald Trump or anybody out there. If you follow him, God is testing you right now. God has been testing it. If you end up following down this path of of following Donald Trump. You're not with God. You say you are, but you aren't. In my opinion, you aren't. And it's not. And look, the Pope has come out and talked about this, and I'm going to tell you, I don't belong to that church. I never will. But the Pope has come out and said this, that sometimes, sometimes a church gets it right. Sometimes a church goes out there and actually gets something right. Not always. Not always do all churches get it right. Not does everybody who speaks about religion does get it right. Okay? But the scriptures always tell the truth. But not always does the truth, does everybody get the truth. There is always three sides to it. There's always the right's truth, okay? There's always the GOP's truth, the Republican truth. There's always the left and the left's truth. And then there's always the absolute truth. And that's always going to be the truth out there. The truth is always going to exist, no matter where you are, no matter what you're doing. Okay, remember, if you lie to your parents and say you stole an article of clothing, okay, as an example, you stole a whole bunch of clothes, you stole a whole bunch of that, and you say, well, and they catch you with it, and you give them some of it, and you say, well, that's all of it, that's your truth, and they might believe your truth, but then there's the other truth that you know, and it's a lie, and sometimes it becomes a lie. But that truth comes out and it comes out that, there's this thing that you comes out and says, and so then what's going to happen is they may think that you got everything, but you didn't. Remember, but it's also, stealing is no way, shape, or form any good form of stuff. It's okay if it's in the trash, for one thing, but it's not okay. It's not okay if it was stolen, and then you lie about it. Okay? That's the truth. Okay, the truth is always going to be there and always be there for you. Wait, where am I? Did I miss? Okay. And nobody is out there, telling you the absolute truth, because sometimes, and then when you look at that thing, okay, later in life, if you come back and then they say, oh, you found you found these shoes, well, then guess what? When you find those stolen clothes, or they find it again, it's like then you end up taking the truth that they believed you at one point, you cannot be reliable and tell the truth a second time, tell the truth again. Okay? And that's the truth. And that's the same thing happening with Trump. We got an hour remains on this, so it's gonna be a tight squeeze, but we got it. But we'll get it there, even though it's very tight. But when you go out there and it's like Donald Trump has his truth, and he says, "Oh, well, I called him," you know, when he talked about Gavin Newsom, he said, "Oh, well, I called him yesterday." Okay, well, you called him yesterday, but then Fox News goes out there and says, okay, well, and then in reality, Gavin Newsom said no, it was found on the 7th that it was talked about, not in no way, shape, or form. And it's like, people, you don't seem to really understand that you know, the truth will find it. Between Gavin Newsom and Donald Trump, there's always going to be one truth, and you have to discern that truth, and you have to find that. To me, the truth, I'm believing Gavin Newsom on this. And that's the truth for me, is that Gavin Newsom is the truth. And that's who I'm gonna believe more than I'm gonna believe Trump. And the only reason why is because he's burned me personally. Okay, that's not the right one. It's up there. They say it's down here, but it's actually up there. So it's like you have to really find out to discern the truth, and you know, sometimes a lie sometimes you can get away with a lie. Like I will tell you, I have gotten away with lies before. But alright, there we go. So you can't really go out there and believe everything that is being told to you. You know, this military thing with Trump, you know, is in no way, shape, or form that you know, they should take. You know, the biggest thing is that the military is supposed to take an oath to the Constitution. Okay, you're supposed to take the oath to the Constitution before you take an oath to anybody else. Okay? And that's the truth. That's the whole truth on anything that is being said here with Donald Trump. Donald Trump is not willing to follow the... Okay, and Narvac does not have any thing, and that's all we've got is that and this right around here. So nothing. So let's go to the cargo market. And you know, it's nothing available there. In Sir Toman, we've got something. In Bodo, we've got some stuff. Hello, Flynn, Odo, the pie. Cut flowers, more iron. Okay. We're gonna set that as our destination, but before we do, can I quick travel? I cannot. So, we'll have to just drive up there. We got any nearby resting? We do have that there. I'm actually, how much? So it's 6 hours till resting, right? It's an hour to that checkpoint. I think we can maybe make that. No way am I actually importantly trying to drive appropriately. I don't drive. In any way, shape, or form. But when you take a look at Donald Trump, when you take a look at the things that he's saying, he's like, he's basically telling these troops to follow him. He's pretty much, you know, if you guys want to know the whole entire actual conversation, Midas Touch has a thing on it. For it. It's always great to know. And if people say that I'm listening to a false news organization, just let me be clear. Just let me be clear. I will tell you, I used to watch Fox News. I occasionally watched Fox News. Actually, no, I used to actually I used to watch CNN. And MSNBC and CBS and I used to believe in these people as any ounce of evidence to the contrary. I don't listen to those platforms anymore. I don't listen to them as a reliable, completely a reliable source. I still listen to them occasionally, because they got some things about the weather, and things, and that's the only thing I listen to CBS for nowadays. I listen to MSNBC because I only listen to Rachel Maddow, and Rachel Maddow is the only one that I kind of really listen to the most, and I kind of don't really watch MSNBC. I haven't even listened to her for a while. The most place I listen to the most is Midas Touch. Jesse Dollamore. And I listen to more with Jesse Dollamore and The Ring of Fire, and I listen to more of these things. I don't listen to the mainstream media as much as I used to. Okay? And it's not that I don't have a bias or anything. To be honest, I will occasionally check a Fox News. I'll read something from Fox. I'll read something from Washington Examiner. I'll read something that may catch my eye, and then I realize, okay, now what they're doing is really not the truth, and to me anyway. And those are the places you gotta think about. You gotta think about, what are you getting? Where are your sources coming from? And the other thing that I want you guys to also know is that Trump, the Supreme Court is basically, he's asking the Supreme Court now to help him pretty much allow him to deport people. And they're going, and some of them, and they're like, most of them are going along with it. And it's like, they have no sense of lawlessness. The Supreme Court, what they really need to do is, the Supreme Court really needs to come up with something that says, we screwed up, and we're also we screwed up, and we have a reason to kick him out of office. And if they aren't willing to do it, we will. There is impeachment process going on, and for it, and it's absolutely fantastic that they're willing to do it. But when the Supreme Court said, we're not gonna do this, we're just gonna let him do it, it's, if the Supreme Court lets him do it, it's their own fault. They're part of this fascist takeover. They're allowing this to happen. They shouldn't, and the right, they said, oh well, he's not gonna do it. Well, they lied. They literally lied to the front of people, saying, well, he's not going to do this, but there's this reality that he could, but he's not going to. It's like, they did not listen, they did not pay attention, they shouldn't have given him the immunity, and that's my 2 cents on this, is like, they were the ones that said, no, we don't want it's like, they said, oh, he's not going to do it, but yet then they're out here now seeing what's going on, and some of them are still ended up going along with it. Okay. So now, is it the SAS or is it the co-op? Let's find out, because we need to make sure. That's what we're gonna do. Yeah, I did not see that. See that it had to be the other way, so. I always skip the loading process. Because I have a hard time trying to back a truck like this. Yeah, see, they're going to tell me to do that. but we are going downward. And its trip time is 9 hours, right? But here's what I'm going to do. 52 minutes to do that checkpoint. We can save 52 minutes because it doesn't tell me I can't go to the left. I can't turn to the right. So now we're going downward, yay. Yes. Now, it's got 7-hour trip time on this. But 7 hours and 30 minutes. But we have 5 hours until rest. So what we'll do is we're going to mark down there. We are going to go rest down there. And so it's one of those things where, you know, the more that we listen and the more that we spend our time listening to do the truth, and that's what we do, is we gotta listen. We gotta make sure that we are listening to the absolute, finding the absolute truth, making sure that, you know, sometimes I don't get that, and I'll admit, sometimes I don't listen to it, but we gotta find out the truth, and we gotta figure out the receipts, look at the receipts, find the receipts. You know, that's what Midas does, and that's what I like, is when they go out there, they look for receipts. A lot of these mainstream medias kind of tell you, but then they don't go and look for these receipts. They don't go out and I'm not saying that they aren't quite all good, all bad. So it's one of those things where you gotta think about what people are saying and what people are doing out there. Because it's not always indicative of what's actually being said. And stuff, and it's just no way, in any way, shape, or form do I subjugate myself to a lot of the lies that are being said. And we are gonna rest at least once. Alright. So now let's go to services. And company, go to garage manager. All of these are full now except for we're gonna upgrade the one with the least, which is I want to find the daily profit. We're gonna upgrade you. And we will upgrade oh, we don't have a driver for Bestia. I thought we did. And then Garage Manager, because I know we just... Yeah, Galloway says 3 to 5 now, so... we're also going to take the Bode, and we'll also upgrade you, since you are... You know, I'm going to stay in Norway, but we are going to upgrade... that there. And now we have everything. Now let's go to the recruitment agency, though. We do need to hire another... No, you're getting hired just by the name. Maximilian. Would fit well down here. It's not there, it's actually down here. Okay. So now if we do truck dealer, I back out. And then we go and say we got... But then we go to my fleet configuration. We can purchase, if we go to recruitment agency, no, if we actually go out of here, we can go to services, and we do, I always want to do that, go to recruitment agency, to truck dealers now. Actually, we need the truck dealers. Line. I wanted to customize the configuration to see which one it is. That one's not it. Okay. Yeah, because I wanted, and then I think if we go with the active, it does not come with the back on it. But we do have that available to us. Which it's only going to save us a little bit of money on it. Even the Iveco active space. That can be put up to 560. Which, to be honest, I'm going to put the active. We're going to go back and use the active sleeper. To be honest. Okay, no. We're just going to reset all these changes. Except, yeah, we're just going to revert all the changes. We're going to confirm you. Okay. Because it should only be 2. And Maximilian, you're going to get that as well. So you are now have your own personal truck now. Yeah, because I just want to make sure I'm not hitting the thing. I should probably be using my mirrors, but I don't. I use it this way, and it's fine. We received 46,599. Now, we'll be able to pay off one of those. Hopefully, we can get this one done before 5:30. Because, guys, I am going to do a couple things today before I do. I got a couple things I got to do. I got to do dishes. I got to go make some pizza tonight. And then I also got to go and not only make pizza, but I also got to take out the trash and do some chores around here. So, and I keep forgetting to do that. And I also got to be looking for a job, and I haven't been doing that. But hey, I will tell you, I am glad I'm in Norway. I'm glad I'm driving in Norway. I want to actually look at, figuring out, Norway a little bit too, because, to be honest, I want to take into consideration, you know, when I look at countries, I look at the countries with the 80+ marking that prove to be safe, but we have to be vigilant when we look at countries when we want to make that plan. So and understand the Norway's thinking, and Norway doing a lot of its thing. Because I don't want to go to another country and then come back and then realize studying. And realizing studying, that's why I haven't made the leap to moving to another country. And so, you know, and it's no way, in any way, shape, or form. And you know what? I'm going to tell you, it's like companies that choose not to support or help the community, companies that choose to alienate the community, I'm not going to work with. With the exception, you know, if I'm like, there's some exceptions where I will make that exception. You know, like building a computer, I will have a little bit of that subjective, thing, but I will not be supporting Dell. I'm not gonna buy a Dell computer. I will continue to buy from American businesses. With the exception of Intel or AMD, but right now I am not going to use Intel. I'm going to stick with AMD, so I have to, you know, I have a little bit of some of that biasy. And stuff, and that's where I'm going to be doing, is I'm going to stick to focusing on businesses that tend to support me and tend to support the community as much as I can. You know, there's going to be some point where, you know, right now I can't. You know, with only having limited income and only having limited choices to buy stuff, you know, having to make sure that, I have to buy, I go for the cheapest stuff that I can possibly get when it comes to food. I don't care if they support us or not, because food's food, and we have to have food in our stomachs, and I don't care. Those are the businesses I don't say no. But if I go out to like a restaurant, or I'm going out to eat at a place where, okay, then I might take into consideration on those things. If they're big enough that, yeah, I'm not going to. So we're gonna switch down. But we are gonna keep going until that clock hits. It's there. Keep driving, so because I'm gonna do a thing, I'm gonna change a thing for tonight. Hopefully none of the, hopefully the shoes that I want don't go away. Because I am actually going to tell you after coming out and realizing, yes, Adidas might support us this year. That's what this truck design is for, but that doesn't mean that they are. They have dropped the LGBTQ. They aren't willing to support us, If a company's not willing to, it's time that I switch and change companies and start buying from companies that support us. You know, and that's one thing is I am, as soon as I can get a job currently, I'm going to start looking at buying, as soon as I can get a job. I'm saying this in advance, now, but I will be looking at replacing I'll still have Nike in my repertoire because Nike owns Converse. Trust me. And if Nike owns Converse, they're willing to do it. Guess what? They are willing to support us, and they're still supporting us. So Nike still gets that pass. But I have not bought a pair of Vans. I have never bought a pair of Vans, but I might start doing that. And buying business from businesses that actually are out there supporting us, like Puma. Like I buy Puma, love Puma. Oh, their shoes are more comfortable than Adidas Superstars, to be honest. I'm sorry, but anybody who says that Adidas is actually comfortable, I own a whole bunch of Adidas pairs. I still don't find them as comfortable. And it's going to be one of those brands that I might not support anymore. And it might be that way, but you know, I will buy one pair of Vans and then maybe see if they're any good, and if they're good shoes, and I really like their comfortability, their design, and they are comfortable to just walk in. Fantastic. Will I go out and wear them? Fantastic. Will I continue to support brands that are out there that are supporting the community? I'm going to go out there and support the community in any way, shape, or form, and that's how I'm going to do it. I'm going to consistently support the community in any way, shape, or form. And if the community doesn't want me to support a brand, I'm not going to go out and support a brand. I'm not going out there to buy a lot of these places. You know, look. Every year, if Nike is out there still supporting us this year around, even their brands are going to be places where I will spend and support my money. You know, if it was me and I had the money, I had the funds, I had the big bucks, I would out. Yeah, I'm not going to worry about it this time. Those are the things that I go out and do. I'm not out there to support some business that does not go out there and support me entirely. You know, it's like I go out there and I'll still support Ben & Jerry's. But if they're willing to oust Ben & Jerry's, I used to support them as a big support. I like their activism, and they shouldn't be out there forcing these companies, the owners of Ben & Jerry's, the big corporation owning it. It's not for me to go out there and buy from a company that's not supporting the LGBTQ community. Those are the places where we have to. That's why I always advocate that we should be focused on looking to our smaller community, the independent businesses, these businesses that are out there supporting us as an independent business. You know, places like let's see, just places like Why Are You? You know, like that, for example. Why Are You supports the community, and if Why Are You supports the community, then great. That's fantastic. That's great for the community, and that's where a lot of us need to be standing up and supporting the community, because if we don't, we alienate the community because we like one thing, because don't like one thing about it. We're no better out here supporting the community in a way like that. And alienating a community because you don't like something is not right. If you don't like gay people kissing out in public, then but you don't mind that straight people kiss in public, then you have a problem. Then we have a problem here. Ugh. I like to do this sometimes where I load. Thanks Steady for joining the TikTok live. Thank you. So it's a challenge for me to really look at the places and the stuff that's going on. I myself don't subscribe myself to, you know, when it comes to shoes. I have a thing and a finesse for shoes. I love shoes. Shoes have actually one of those things that there's only two things that I love collecting for, and it's gonna have to be a thing. Do I go out and spend on video games, buy video games, and make that my whole thing? I'm not out. I do that, but I'm not out spending a lot on shoes right now because I don't have a job. I don't have a lot of money on video games either. You know, I have right now. I have $80 sitting on my, actually $50 sitting on my Steam account because I'm waiting for DLC and stuff for Eurotruck waiting for the summer sale to come along so that I can get some DLC for Eurotruck and maybe get a little bit of a thing, because I'll tell you, I almost got a game finished, literally, and I've been working on my own personal game in my own time, and I'm looking at trying to finish it, but there's this thing that I have literally one thing I need for my game, and I am pretty much done with it. I don't have anything that I'm missing for my game. I'm just missing one, but I wanted to get into Eurotruck a little bit more because I'm waiting on this Nordic Horizons thing and stuff, but I just need one thing on my list to work on my game. But in order for me to do that, I am waiting on this sale to see if it's actually summer sale, if that's going to be anything that I can do. And if I can do that, then I'm going to basically get my game fully finished, and it will be up and ready to go for anybody to play. It's actually not broken. It's not there, and it works. And so it's gonna be where, and I should say I am pretty much about 90% done with the game. I'm just finishing up on a level, and I'm finished, and I need add a little bit of some style into the game for this time. And I've worked on many games myself. You know, if you guys are wondering about the titles, I've already talked about Donald Trump in a earlier in the show. But as soon as I get the games done, I'll have it fully out and ready to go for you guys, and you guys can actually buy a little bit. I'm not gonna put it like extensively buying like one I'm not gonna like go out there and put like $10 on this game. It's no way, any shape or form is it $10. But I will put in like $5 on the game. It's not gonna be like something groundbreaking on it. But it is. I just need one more thing, and then I have access, and I'm good. I'm done. I don't need access to it, and that's what I am working on myself. So it's gonna take some time on it, but you know, and I will give you a thing, a little hint on it. You guys can probably go look at my YouTube and find out where I've gotten all of this. But there's also another instance where you can find my thing is. I'll give you another hint. If you don't want to go look at my channel, that's fine. But if you are interested in the content that I do around here, make sure you guys are followed. Here on TikTok, on Trovo. Make sure you guys are followed here on, subscribed here on YouTube. Remember, all of those are free to do. No need to spend any money on me. Just by being here, watching is greatly appreciated. And then the other one, and then if you want to subscribe and want to help me out a little bit, get me into that Trouble 500, you guys can do that by subscribing, spending elixirs here on Trovo, or you guys can, I don't think that you can become a member on my TikTok because I don't have it monetized, but you guys can also support me through Ko-Fi as well, through that link in the link tree. You guys can get all of my information wherever I post all of my stuff. On it. So we're here. It's 2 hours to our next checkpoint. So we should be. We'll get there in time. Because basically what I like to do is I'm not taking longer trips right now. If I have a day where if I have a day where I can just sit down and actually just play this for a day, then yeah, I will do the long thing. We're on the E6, which is good. And I love driving in Europe, to be honest. I absolutely love driving. Europe is so much better and so much prettier than driving in the United States. Like, Europe has such an amazing, like, driving in Norway, driving in Iceland. Oh, I love Europe. I love the instance of going to Europe and actually and stuff, and so, but there is this thing that always burns in my head. That's always ingrained in my head, and all of this, and you know, with all of this people not willing to support the community. They're like, if a company doesn't support you and they come back and they're willing to come back and support you again, just remember that if they don't support you this time around because of they say, oh well, we're not supporting it because of tariffs, that's a little bit that's more understanding. I'm trying to not have to make so much product so that they don't have so they don't have to deal with a lot of tariff. That I understand with some of these things. That's why I'm like, you know, Dolls Kill is one of the other places I buy. I like, okay, they didn't have Pride merch last year. They don't have Pride merch this year either. So it kind of... Oh no! I did not realize I needed fuel. Crap. Crap, I forgot about fuel. I will tell you, one of the places I like to listen to, guys, outside of just, you know, US stuff, like, I listen to a lot of US news, I listen to a lot of this, and I listen to a lot of, I love listening to a lot of music, and I listen to using YouTube music, but I found recently, I was just looking for something to listen to while I'm driving in Europe, and I came across a station that, like, I was looking for something that would support the LGBTQ community, and I came across this Trans Radio UK, and if any of you haven't seen Trans Radio UK, go look it up. Go study, go listen to it. It's a fantastic radio station. They play music, anything from 1920s to today, from any genre that you can think of. You know, currently I'm listening to a lot of soundtrack, a lot of mixes from TV shows and it's one of those things where I listen to pretty much that's where I listen to my music now. You know, I do occasionally check up on some of my music because I've actually been kind of eyeing starting my own radio station. Now, for many of you, I have, if you've been around and you subscribed for me this whole entire time, been around when I started my stream at 2013, started my YouTube, then, you would know that I actually had run a radionomy, showing people how to actually get our own radio station started. Unfortunately, that service is gone, and I've been eyeing in making a radio station at some point, or being part of a radio station community that I can bring you guys my music and my music taste and do it with it. But it's tough because I'm not going to spend $50 a year just to have access to a radio station that I can't get my stuff out there in any way, shape, or form. You have to kind of do it, but I love and so you know, this guy, I'm really riding his tail right now, and I shouldn't be. But, you know, I'm gonna tell you, this thing is like, this weekend, guys, I'm not gonna be following or watching any of Donald Trump's parade. If you are out there willing to watch his parade, hats off to you, but just remember this. That's what Kim Jong-un does. That's what Russia does. That's what dictators do. So I don't subscribe to I don't subscribe to any of Donald Trump's stuff. I don't subscribe to any of it. I will tell you, I don't actively subscribe to him. And I will tell you, most people don't realize this. But you know, in 2016, I voted for him in 2016 because I thought, you know, I didn't come out in 2016 actually. I came out that year. I came out in 2017 is when I came out as trans. And I, you know, I didn't, and so I just voted based on party line. I just voted basically because I was a Republican. I had to vote Republican, and so I basically in 2022 is when I stopped voting Republican. I knew their signs. I knew what was coming, a little bit. I knew that what happened on January 6th kind of really opened my eyes to realizing, okay, no, this guy is not willing to take care of our troops. Hold on. Okay, yeah, we're gonna have to actually, it's that way. Hold on. Okay, hold on. So if we do that, that's not it. Yeah, we have to go the other way around. So I will tell you, I am gonna be basically standing up on that day and protesting. I won't be out protesting on No King's Day on the 14th. But I will be, by not watching his stuff, by not watching all of those things, I will be watching Barnacles. I will be staying away from No Kings. I will not be supporting the 4th of July this year. I normally support the 4th of July, but not this year. Because this year the 4th of July is a part, pretty much, I consider it like a party anymore, to be honest. We should actually have a day where it should be about learning. To be honest. But, I will tell you this, guys. If you guys are enjoying today's stream, and you guys want to see more of my beautiful stream from this lovely lady, from Gaming Maddie Rocks, you guys make sure you guys are followed, actively following. It's actually great to be here. And remember that if you aren't subscribed, make sure you guys are also hit that like button. Make sure that you guys hit that bell notification with the all, because that's going to be greatly appreciated. I will tell you guys, I will be working on changing up some of my getting my stuff set up for YouTube as well, so that I can get those things going on. On it, so that you guys can kind of get the notifications that I've seen you likes, subscribing, and stuff like that. If you want to see content for my night stuff, the streams that I do at night, make sure you guys are followed on the TikTok and the Trovo side, it's greatly appreciated for that. That's where you get your vertical content. It's always on TikTok. It's always every day. I pretty much try and live stream every day, Monday through Friday. And Sunday from 3 till 5:30. About 5:30, roughly. Unless there's like a day like where like my mom's gone and I'm here, I will do that. And then the other one, and then the other one, is, there's three things. The night streams, guys, are from 9 p.m. till 10:30 p.m. for Eurotruck, unless it's Thursday, unless it is Sunday. It's that way. Then from 12, but if it's those 2 days, then it's from 12 until 2 a.m. on those days. But then for Eurotruck. So if you want to see my Eurotruck stuff, that's where I'm going to be talking about news, talking about all the things going on, and then with the world, within the United States. May not be getting everything that I say, might not be the whole entire truth, but I will tell you, listen to Midas Touch, listen to those people, David Packman, Jesse Dollamore, Fair and Cousins, Fair and Balanced, however you like to, the Ring of Fire, and you guys can also check out my Call of Duty and Fortnite streams from nighttime from 10:30 until 1 a.m. until 2 a.m. unless it is Barnacle, unless it is Thursday or Sunday, then it will be from 9:30 till 12, and then we go from 12 to 2 for Eurotruck on those days. So just if you want to see all of that, that's the schedule for my live. So anyway, we will see you guys later.